Hi YouTube, dolls and especially fellas, black, white, whatever color. It doesn't really matter what color you are at this point, because I'm coming to speak to y'all about as a black person, as a black female, as a black woman. Period. To have to go to bed crying, upset, and praying for the family of Alton Sterling, and to see the video from two different angles and to read people's comments or to read black people's response to that shooting in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and to see that some white people feel like it's okay to try to justify it is ridiculous. I wanted to come to y'all today to sit down and have a talk, a conversation. It doesn't matter what race you are. Um, the fact of the matter is, there is an injustice going on here in America that makes me scared for my life, my brother's life, my dad's life, my grandfather's life, because he's a truck driver. Um, for the lives of my little cousins, for the lives of my future children. Um, to have to wake up again to see that another black person was shot by a police officer. And some people may say what his girlfriend did was not right, or it wasn't normal. And however you may feel about her actions or what she did, it doesn't matter. She felt like it was injustice. She felt the need to go live on her Facebook to post that her boyfriend was shot 4 times, and all he was doing was reaching for his identification because the officer asked for it. And he right nicely told the officer that he had a weapon and that he was licensed to carry it. And for that officer to just shoot him in front of his fiance and his little girl. Because I highly doubt that that man was going to sit here and shoot that police officer knowing his little girl was in that back seat. I doubt that. You cannot tell me he was going to pull that weapon out and to try to shoot that officer with his little girl sitting in the back seat. There's no way in hell you're going to try to tell me that. Ever. There's no justifying it. There's no justifying him Alton Sterling's shooting. There's no justifying Phil Kentro's shooting. There is no justifying it. Ever. There's no justifying Sandra Bland's death. There's no justifying Trayvon Martin's death. There's no justifying Eric Garner. There's no justifying it. There's something seriously corrupt and wrong with America justice system, because if you have the evidence, there's physical evidence. There's a video, for Christ's sakes. I've seen both angles of that Sterling shooting in Baton, Louisiana. Both angles. There's no way in hell he could have reached for that gun being on his back. And one officer's knee was on his hand and the other officer had his other arm. There's no way in hell he could reach for it. There's no way. You cannot sit here and try to justify it in any way, shape, or form. I'm not saying all cops are corrupted, but some cops need to be mentally reevaluated. They need to have their mental state of mind reevaluated. Because if you can sit here and disarm a white person, or you can tase a white person, or you can pepper spray a white person, you could do the same damn thing to a black person. There's no way around it. And to see white people trying to justify it makes me sick to my stomach. Not all white people are justifying it. There was this white lady that wrote a beautiful poem about it. I fear for my life. Every time I have a police officer behind me, I'm scared that I'm going to get pulled over for absolutely no reason. If I get pulled over, I will comply with everything, but don't get me wrong, I'll be fearful and praying to God that I don't get shot for no reason. We're free, and we're not really, black people are not really free, clearly, because we're getting shot for no reason at all. The Black Lives Matter is just saying our lives matter too. That's all we want the people to know is our lives matter too. I'm not saying it matters more than anybody else's. It's just saying our lives matter. We don't want to have to constantly live in fear of being killed or live in fear that our son or daughter or somebody that we love will get shot for no reason. I don't want to have to constantly live like that. And I don't want to bring a child into this world like that. Something has got to change. Something has got to change. We have got to come together and tell our justice system something has got to change. You have to police officers need to be better trained, better educated, mentally evaluated. Cause because they're like that guy's fiance said, something is mentally wrong with some of these police officers for them to think it's okay to shoot a black person for no reason. If we all have every right to carry a weapon, and he was telling the officer that he had a weapon. That's it. He was telling the officer. He was complying with the officer. For him to be shot in front of his child, and for his child to tell her mother that he's home, was sad. No 4-year-old should have to sit there and tell their mother that Daddy's going is never coming back. It's sad. And to see to see Sterling's 15-year-old child break down at an interview, at a press conference, it broke my heart. I cried like I'm crying now because it's sad. It's ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. Something has got to change, and it starts now. It starts with me because I'm using my YouTube platform. It may not be a big platform. I may not be this big YouTube person, but it starts with me. It starts with anybody. We've got to make a change. Something has got to give. Because little do police officers know, a lot of people have been scared for them since forever. And I don't want to have to constantly live like that. I don't want to have to constantly worry about my little brother for being shot. I don't have to want to worry about anybody I love and care about to be stereotyped and killed. Because it's ridiculous. Something's got to change. The police officers need better training. They need to be retrained. They need to be psychologically reevaluated. They need to just be helped. Retrained for taking down people. Retrained to talk about talking to people and not stereotyping people and not being fearful of people of color. Because Black Lives Matter. All lives matter, in my opinion. But Black Lives Matter more at this point because we're being killed for no reason. For me, all Sterling was doing was selling CDs, y'all. And somebody called in and said he was waving a gun. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Either way it goes, he did not deserve to be shot 6 times, point blank range, because you saw a weapon. He wasn't even reaching for the weapon. The same goes for Kentro. He was not even reaching for his weapon. He's reaching for his identification because that's what the officer wanted. All I say is we have to go to our justice system. Something's got to change in that justice system. There's too much evidence to not convict. But let's not get it wrong. May not be convicted. Neither one of those officers may be convicted. They get to go sit at home and get paid, while the families of the victims have to sit there and grieve because their loved one was shot. And the officer gets to go home and be like, "That's one less Black person." Let's not sit here and sugarcoat shit. Something's going to change. The justice system is going to change. Because this is ridiculous. This stops now. Because it's ridiculous. The justice system is injustice. It needs to be fixed. The police officers need to just be trained better. Like my sister said, they may need to go through military training. Because let's face it, their training is not shit. Clearly. And white people, I love y'all. But some of y'all are ignorant to the situation. Like I say on Facebook, that this one person posted, this white guy posted and said he had a gun and dropped Smike. There's this African American male. He said, put yourself in his shoes as an African American. Put yourself in that shoe and see how you would feel. And the dude never answered the question. And when he finally did, he said no. Exactly my point. You wouldn't put yourself in his shoes. We have to stop stereotyping people because of the way people dress or act or look. It's stupid and it's ignorant. God put us on this earth for a reason, and it's not to sit here and be shot and killed for no apparent reason. It's a race thing. You cannot tell me it's not. It's a race thing. When it comes to police officers shooting Black people, it's a race thing. Not all cops are bad. Not all Black people are good. But majority of us are. And for you to put us in stereotype us just to one thing is we don't comply, we're aggressive, is stupid. Because we will comply. We're not all aggressive. But if you encounter somebody aggressive today, they have every right to be aggressive because they're sick of seeing a name being a hashtag because they've been shot. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of having to just wake up and see that another black person's been killed by a police officer. I'm sick of it. If anybody's out there that's watching, we come together. We figure this out. We don't need to be violent. We can peacefully protest this. We can peacefully come to some compromise, or not even a compromise, a way to get justice for the two lives that were taken in 24 hours of each other. 2 days, somebody was shot. A black man was shot and killed. I want my justice system to fix this. I want the government to fix this. The government can fix it. It's gotta start with us. It's gotta start with us as African Americans, us as Americans, period. Not everybody is going to agree with this, and that's fine. I don't care. I came here to say how I felt, and something needs to change because this is getting out of control and ridiculous. It starts with me. It starts with you. It starts with all of us. Something has got to change. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. We gotta change, y'all. We've got to get the police to see that we're not aggressive people. We've got to get America to see that this is a racial thing and it needs to stop because we're all equal. We all were created equal. Granted, yeah, we were Africans were slaves at first. Yeah, we're free now, but how free are we if we can't go out to get anything? We can't even drive. We can't even carry a weapon without getting shot. We can't even make a living for our family without getting shot. It's gotta stop. I love y'all, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.